What's good? Zero to Chaos here.
With melting data.
And hopefully everybody's doing good. It is February 20th. Where has the time gone, bro? This is Culture Clash. We back in effect, man. We are back. Hopefully y'all are doing good. Man, Chaos. Chaos is I am ooh. Did not know how much stuff could happen within a week of us like splitting it up like this. But before we even start, how are you doing, Data?
Man, it's been an interesting week. Been trying to get some stuff taken care of. I did some work on my PC.
Mm,
I know
mm.
what it's like to have space on your PC now. That was a new feeling.
He's sitting there like,
Uh,
I got room now. Ooh, let the people know how much space you got now, bro.
man, so the last time I upgraded storage, probably like 5 years ago, something like that. And I had about a terabyte and a half, which is good. Like it's not crazy, but it was good. But I was getting to the point with how big games are getting that I was like, new game just came out. What's coming off so that I can go back on?
Mm-hmm.
So I upgraded my storage. I have 9 terabytes now, and I have like 2.5 terabytes of games. There's a drive that doesn't even have anything on it yet. Feels good. Feels
Nine,
good. It's weird, but it feels good. And it's
nine.
all M.2 storage, so it's all fast.
Data over here
Feels
said,
good.
I am big balling right now. Data got all the space now. Like, how many games do you have downloaded
Oh, that is a good question. On Steam, I have Steam has 31. Included in that list is the entire Elder Scrolls series.
now? The entire Elder Scrolls.
Yes, Arena, Daggerfall, Morrowind, Oblivion, Skyrim, Elder Scrolls Online, and Redguard. The only one I don't have on there is Battlespire.
Yeah.
There's 7 on the Xbox app. There is 2 on GOG and 2 on BattleNet. And then like 3 or 4 miscellaneous ones on my desktop.
Ah, look, man. All I gotta say is get the approval, my brother. Because all I know is back when I did mons, I didn't do as much of a big overhaul upgrade. When I did it, I took my old hard drive from my first computer, and then I bought an SSD for my boot up menu.
Yeah.
So it's like I low key pretty much took a whole other computer, put it in this computer, along with the computer. So, but now I want to get 9 terabytes. Do I need nine? Do I really need 9 terabytes though?
I didn't need it, but with how big games are getting, I'm set for the future now. I ain't got to worry about the next 400 gig Call of Duty.
Yo,
It'll fit.
I'll be real with you. I want.
I just started looking at my PC and I was like, there's some unused M.2 slots, and I could only get one 4 terabyte drive, but that would leave an empty slot. And like, if I'm going to get one, I need to get the whole set so it's not lonely.
He's like, gotta get the fam, so we all together. See, but see, I had that same mind frame when it came to my RAM sticks though. And Micro Center was definitely pleased with me with my grown boy decision right there. He's like, you got one stick, you only got one port left. Why don't you get the other stick? And I'm like, or I can just buy the double pack stick and fill them up. And he was like, I like that idea. I'm like, I know you do. I know you do. I think I think once I get things a little more situated, I do want to upgrade my computer, and I want to get wife's computer built. That's my goal for 2025. I want to get her first PC built.
My suggestion on that is when it comes time to do a system upgrade on yours, replace your motherboard and all that stuff, just buy you a case like you're already building a new PC, and just plop the old PC in the new case,
Mm-hmm.
and then upgrade your PC. Or if you prefer the new case, you can just build the new PC and just slide the other case to a different desk.
Okay, cause she already knows like kind of what, like she knows like what she wants to do, and with me doing editing, gaming, and things like that, of course my rig had to be a little bit more bulky to handle the everything that I want to do at once with it. I know for her, just school stuff, a little gaming here and there. So I was like, it doesn't have to be so crazy right off rip. But man, like, just for all the listeners out there, man, I don't know if there are any PC haters out there, but like, really think about getting a PC, bro. This is unsponsored, but we're just being honest. Like,
it opens a lot of doors.
Yes, so many. And then like, even with like Game Pass and things like that, you know, I can log into my Spotify, I can log into my Netflix, YouTube TV, like it's all here.
Yep.
You can have as many screens as you want if you know how to do it.
Yep.
Like I'm already sitting here like good chance another selfish buy that I don't buy things much for myself, but I do want to get like the razors. I want to rise my screens up to more up level, so I'm not like scrunched up like this all the time. And it's like I just need the monies. But
the downside of getting into PC gaming is the initial kick hurts.
Yes,
it is a lot, but then year on year you will spend less money on PC gaming for the rest of your life.
The rest, 100%.
Like games are cheaper, upgrading your hardware so it stays relevant year on year is cheaper. Mm-hmm. Like, because with console gaming, like the console is cheaper, but everything past that, like if you want a game, well, it doesn't matter what everyone else's sale is. It matters what the store on your console is.
Right.
And if that ain't on sale, that ain't on sale. You don't get a sale. With PC, you can compare Steam, GOG, Epic Games, EA, Battle.net. You can go on third-party websites that don't necessarily have like a launcher, and you can find like keys to activate the game in a launcher that you can find for like cheaper prices and stuff like that. So the level of competition to buy a game for the same platform is just a lot higher. The prices are a lot better.
So much better. I agree, man. I can definitely say just the fact that I stopped paying for online services for a console changed the game.
Yes.
Like completely changed the game. But segueing off, because another thing that has changed the game. Have you heard of the Global Gaming League?
Yes, sir. How can I not?
I'm going to go ahead and slide this over here real quick. So, blop. Of course, the Global Gaming League is composed of high-profile celebrities like T-Pain. Fan of the pod, doesn't know yet. Just putting that out there. Team owners, whose 4-player teams of skilled and casual gamers, popular personalities, and influencers compete in live gaming tournaments. See how I did that right there? It's amazing. I've been keeping my eyes on this for a long time. Like, since T-Pain announced it, I was like, I wants to get in this. And guess what your boy did, Data?
He got in this.
He got in this. I wish I had the soundboard going, man. I would have clicked it. Soundboard coming to the podcast. Y'all just don't know yet. But man, let me tell you. I don't know now. I don't know what is next for this. But they did send me a thumbs up email, pretty much saying, we see you. You are now in the loop of the Global Gaming League. And when I tell you, like, this alone was such like a relief when it comes to this content creation and gaming in general, because a lot of y'all may not know, uh, the growth of esports in our culture has been hit and miss. And I personally feel like for every big hit we had a lot of little misses.
Yeah.
Um, we have tournaments like Evo, like fighting game tournaments, stuff like that are huge, still going, still strong. But to say that we have a video game league, a legit league too, was unheard of. And yet alone someone that we love like T Pain kind of backing it was always like a really good push for me. I was sold the second he started talking about it.
Yeah. Well, especially someone who genuinely gets the culture of gaming, because like you have a lot of big companies that have tried to push stuff like this before that are just kind of detached from it.
Right.
But T Pain is engulfed in that culture. He understands the culture. So like there's going to be a lot more, I don't necessarily want to use the word trust like that, but a lot more trust with how he's going to handle it, because he understands the things that gamers do, the things that gamers want, because he is himself a
Mm-hmm.
gamer.
Right. And as we sit here, of course, if you're listening, the cool thing about this gaming league that really interested me was that it's a multi-game league. So it's not just fighting, it's not just shooters, it's not just sports games, it's all of it. And they're going to find a way to integrate all of like the retro games, first person shooters, sports, everything. And I was like, yo, this is dope. Because now you're giving more gamers a chance to showcase what they can do and what they're better at. That's one thing that I feel esports really missed the mark on, was that it really just focused on like your Call of Duties, your CS:GOs,
Yeah.
Valorant, and it just stuck. It just stayed in that pocket. 2K, NBA 2K had like a summer league that they did, which was pretty cool. I don't condone a lot of the 2K practices though, but man, like the league that they put together was pretty cool. They had a draft and everything. And I think that's what Global Gaming League is going to do too. They're gonna have like a draft. They're gonna draft certain players to each team, and I'm just curious to see how this is gonna grow.
I definitely am looking forward to seeing kind of like what it becomes from here. Because the concept is amazing, but seeing from concept to reality, I am interested to see how that turns out.
Because man, and again, it's like we're older now. Some people would say we're the unks of gaming, which is crazy because we ain't that old. but
That is crazy.
but growing up, it was always kind of like a pipe dream. And we've always talked about this growing up. Like, man, if it wasn't like the house tournaments or like we go to like a convention tournament, that was it. You didn't really have a way to make concurrent income or to even showcase yourself. Then you fast forward to today's era where streaming, you can make money gaming on streams. If you're good enough, you can go on the fighting game circuit,
Yeah.
and get some forms of money. Now a lot of it is not. Now I could be wrong, but I think a lot of it is not like career making money. You still have to be smart with yourselves. you know,
Yeah.
um, I think the only 100% pure gamers that are making like life changing money are ones that still stream. They still put their content on YouTube, but they also are winning these tournaments as well.
Yeah, they got to have both like their personal face that they put out there as well as tournament money.
But man, and again, like getting getting the okay, because one thing I've always told Data, you know, I just wanted to get our foot in the door. Even if I'm not picked for a team, I would love to be like a commentator. I would love to be like a content creator through the Global Gaming League, so we can keep people notified about things that are going on in the league. Like, I'm your man, my bro too. If I come, he gotta come too though, and you better be ready. You better be ready.
And Tallahassee Payne, it's not just gaming that we know. We know your music too. We got both angles on that one.
Shoot, Nappy Boy, Nappy Boy podcast, Nappy Boy streams. Come on, man. Throw me a Temu pack. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. Throw me a Temu surprise box, bro. I will open it. We'll do a live podcast if T-Pain sends us a Temu package. Will it happen? Possibly. Gotta stay positive. But yeah, man, like, and this is just the beginning. Let everybody know, this is just the beginning. We have good news coming down the pipeline. But this is something that I wanted to share with you guys. And just because I've been doing this content creation now for a good almost, I think, a decade now, over a decade now, if I'm not mistaken. It's getting there, or maybe past it. But this is something that was a hobby that I figured out how to make it a business. Now I'm, God willing, I'm now taking it to the next level, and we're now going to become more established. And I'm excited to see where this is going to go. So keep your ears out, guys. We're always going to be bringing up some global gaming league news on the pod, on the stream. So just keep your ears out for it. Going into the next topic, because a lot of our fans out there showed us their love for the Switch 2, because we showed you our love for the Switch 2, and we both said we were going to buy it. But Data,
most definitely.
I have a question for you though, bro. If you were able to get one right now on the black market, would you?
No.
You're a good man. That was the right
because
question.
I'm only paying retail.
That's right.
I'm not paying above retail.
Don't be giving these crazy scalpers your money. So my real question is, would you pay $40,000 for a Switch 2?
Nah.
Bro.
Nah.
I saw this, again, now note, I don't know how real this article is, but it caught my attention. And supposedly in the Chinese black market, they are trying to sell Switch 2s for $40,000.
Bro, the subtitle on that article where it says, or $50 trade-in at GameStop.
GameStop, man. Yo, let's not even start with GameStop. Because
They didn't even have to catch a stray for that one.
GameStop, you know what you did. All right? You know what you do.
This is true.
You know what you did. And no. All right? Rest in peace, Game Informers, bro. Y'all just ruined that. We had Game Informers for decades gone because GameStop. But
this is true.
Yeah, like supposedly in this article, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but to sum it up, a screenshot of someone asking, I guess, a Chinese black market. They asked, like, well, how much would a Switch 2 be on the market? And I guess someone was being real, was like, yo, I can give it to you today for $40,000. Now, I am no mathematician, but it was rumored that it was going to go for what, like $370 to $400?
That's the rumors I've been hearing, yeah.
So you're telling me, let's say it's $400. I can get 100 Switch 2s for the price of your one.
Yes.
Like, there comes a time, and again, this is culture clash, guys. Scalping is culture-wide. I don't like it.
Unfortunately.
I was a part of it for a while. All right? So, when it came down to, like, your Pokemon cards, Magic cards, Yu-Gi-Oh cards, I used to run that third-party market. You know what I'm saying? But I have never in my life seen it this bad as it is now in 2025. You can't even get a graphics card sometimes because they're gone. Like they're already up there resale. Shoes up there on resale. Uh, if you remember the Pokemon situation I told you about earlier before we started, you know,
Yeah.
Pokemon cards. There's stores now that refuse to even sell Pokemon cards because it's becoming such a problem on the third market. You know, and do you think this can change? Like, do you think this will ever change? I guess is a better question.
Ah, I want to say that it could, but the only way that it's going to change is if we have governments that are willing to actually pay enough attention to gaming and to cards and stuff like that to legislate some change. Because let's be real, the companies aren't going to fix it themselves. They're making money regardless.
Right.
So they're not going to change it.
At all.
And most of the time around the world, governments just don't pay enough attention to gaming to care about this kind of thing.
True. That's true. You know, they're worried about other things. It just hurts me because I've always been, and even when I was a part of like the third party selling of like games and stuff like that, I always was like, yes, I would love to make that extra profit, but I never felt comfortable being like, well, I'm gonna ridiculously overcharge you for this card or overcharge you for these pop figures. It's like there has to be a line, you know,
Yeah.
and even sports, you know, I know we don't talk about sports a lot on this podcast, but I have been to sports shows where I have seen baseball cards, basketball cards, football cards, one of ones going for hundreds of dollars, almost thousands. Um, you know, we love Star Wars. I don't know if you've seen any of those like limited edition one of one like Star Wars cards that are
Yep.
floating out here, man, going for like thousands.
Yep. When it comes to like your more rare content, rare items, stuff like that, in any of the major cultures, like scalpers will buy it almost immediately and charge ridiculous prices for it.
Ridiculous, bro. And I just remember sitting there. I'm like, yo, I missed out. Honestly, fun story. I missed out on the first run of the PS5 because of that. Like,
Yeah.
I couldn't comfortably afford it. So I was like, well, I'm not going to get it day one because I can't really justify buying it. All of a sudden, I get my money up. I'm ready to purchase the PS5. Can't find one. Everyone online is selling them for like double the price. So you know what I did? I built my PC.
Yep.
Another reason why you should build a PC. Just because it's, you know, it's literally like, come on, man. You know, and I get it. I get it. It's a way to make a bag. It's a way to get your money up. But sometimes I really wish that like the culture and the community would just kind of ease up when it comes to like secondhand selling stuff. You know, it's getting out of hand.
Yeah. I mean, there's one thing that, you got to make your money. You got to make sure that you're taking care of yourself. But you also got to pay attention. How are you making your money?
Right.
Are you doing it in a way that you can go to sleep and feel okay with yourself at night, or are you doing it in a way that you're messing with people? You hurting someone down the line,
Mm-hmm.
because you gotta pay attention to how you're doing that kind of thing, because one of those ways is just worse for everybody.
Mm-hmm. Oh, 100%. They Scrooge McDucking it right now. They trying to dive into the money. Don't do that. It's very nasty and all coins, it hurt you, man. Don't do that. But it's what they always say. It's a dog eat dog world out there.
Yeah.
Might be showing our age there, but you know, it's tough, man. And the community, don't make it worse for everybody. Everybody should be able. Most of this stuff is none of it's a necessity. It's all, you know, a privilege to be able to buy these things. And now you're putting it outside of reach for most people now.
You're taking it from like reachable privilege to luxury.
Right. And it should never be that. You know, I loved reselling cards. I loved talking to people, having the conversation, why they want these cards. but like I have never looked at it as like I am going to nickel and dime you for everything you own just so I
Yeah.
can get that extra bit of money. Like that's crazy, insane. But yeah, just I just wanted to drop this down, man. I know it's I wanted to really drop that in real quick. Just everybody, please be a little bit more smarter with your cash and be
Yes.
smarter with your purchases. We love you.
And I don't know how it works in every country, but if you're in the United States, write your senators, write your representatives, let them know about things that you want them to actually fix and change about
Lay down,
getting rid of scalpers, stuff like that.
lay down.
Because let's be real, they got a lot of stuff on their hands. I don't blame most of them for not knowing these issues.
Mm-hmm.
Reasonably speaking, it's hard to stay informed on everything
Facts.
unless you tell them and they know that their constituency wants these things. They're just not going to know.
Right.
I know how this works in the United States. If you're in a different country, check your local laws. I don't know the advice to give you there. But let your representatives know, let your senators know. Because it's only going to change if someone at the top makes it change.
Yes. And plus, it starts with us. Like you said, it starts with us. And not to cut us short on this topic because I didn't think we were gonna go this far deep in this one. I ain't gonna lie to you, but we have to bring this up. We have to bring this up on the pod. So of course we're kind of bi-weekly now, so we have like a whole week of just news and things that we just don't have time to talk about. So, Data, have you? I know you don't watch Super Bowl, but I know you watch the halftime show.
Yes, that's the only part of the Super Bowl I care about. And I was already like 8:30 online Googling as the halftime show finished yet, trying to figure out if someone had posted a bootleg halftime show that I could watch real quick. I was able to watch the halftime show around like 9:15 ish.
That's still not bad. That's not
Someone
bad.
had it posted up by that time, so
Because, of course, everybody else out there, we're talking about that Super Bowl halftime show brought to us by Kendrick Lamar.
yes, one of the best halftime shows in recent history.
Yes.
Even with a whole bunch of people saying otherwise.
Yes. And
Easily one of the best.
I'll go ahead and say it. I'm gonna play. I'm gonna play devil's advocate a little bit because I enjoyed the halftime show. Now,
Yes.
does it? If I had to be like critical, does it? I'll say it's in my top 5, but I don't think it's like my favorite experience that I've seen on the stage. But like for the metaphors and for the like everything that he put into it, it was like super simple, but it hit crazy big. I think I know.
He didn't have the flashiest show,
Right.
but I do think he had one of the best shows.
Yes. I mean, the sheer fact that he played all of his new stuff, that pretty much all of it was like his new stuff, except for like a couple songs.
Yeah, most of it was
And
off GNX.
I wasn't. I mean, okay, I won't say I wasn't mad. I was disappointed. I really wanted to hear some of his older catalog, but
Yeah.
I listened to another podcast, that Rory and Maul podcast, shameless plug. I do like how they spinned it, and they said like he already did like he did that big Amazon performance,
Hmm.
and he played a lot of his older stuff then. So they were saying maybe it was smart that he kept it to GNX, because if he would have just pretty much played the older songs he played back in Amazon, maybe people would have felt cheated.
Yeah,
So they were saying that
I
maybe
can see
it was
that.
right. Like I was just like, man, because the choreography of this show. Come on, and I don't think he gets enough credit. He performed the whole show.
Yeah.
He only had one other singer. And even
Well,
then,
and during that song, he was still performing.
still performing. Oh, and don't forget Samuel L. Jackson.
Yes.
5 star, 5 star, 5 star.
I ain't gonna lie. The only things that I could think of when I saw Samuel L. Jackson popped up the first time, I forget his name, but from Django Unchained.
Yes.
When I seen him, I was like, that's him.
Yes. Yes. Like
The way that he had like his inflections, the way he was talking about stuff, like I was like, oh, that's
that's
him.
I was sitting there at my family's house and we watched it at the Super Bowl party, and I was sitting there. When I tell you, the second I saw Samuel L. Jackson pop up, I was like, that is one of the best celebrity like people cameos to have in the Super Bowl period.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think anyone's gonna top that. And to even kind of bring it back down, how we said earlier, how you mentioned how some people didn't get it, or how some people are saying they didn't like it. And of course, it does bring up a whole bunch of like cultural issues that we have. I don't think that I'll be the one to break it down for everybody here on this podcast. But with the fact of what this past summer did for Kendrick, with the beef with Drake, leading up to the Grammys, his dominance of the Grammys, this was Kendrick's time. And for it to capitalize and to be at the Super Bowl, to where not only he gave a solid performance, he silenced the beef.
Yeah.
Period. Like, there is nothing that Drake can do at this point.
Not even remotely. After Kendrick essentially gets the NFL to sign off on Kendrick calling Drake a PDF file at the Super Bowl.
The biggest A minor heard around the world, literally. Literally.
You ain't lying.
And I couldn't, man. It's just like Kendrick is already good at telling stories.
Yes, that's been my favorite part of Kendrick the whole time. The artists that I have cherished the most over time is people like Tupac and Kendrick, where like they're able to craft a whole story through not just a song, but also through like whole album experiences. And it's a rare talent. Not a whole lot of people can pull it off. But Kendrick is one of those people.
Pulls it off every time. Every time. And something else too that I want to give him credit for. Because, we saw it with a group of people. Family and friends. And the age group was all over the place. Every generation that was in that room, there was at least 2 or 3 people from each generation that understood the assignment, that understood what was going on.
Yeah.
And then you even capitalize it with, you had so many different cultures and perspectives of what was going on. Because, like, we're all hip hop fans that was there. So we all understood it from that perspective. Then we had some people who only knew pretty much the beef side of it, like lightly. So they got some of the imagery. Then you have the gamers, like myself, who was there.
Yep.
Who was telling people, like, do y'all see the controller buttons, the game over in the crowd? I'm like, do y'all see these little subtle hints It's those things, and for people that listen to this podcast, y'all should know that, like, hip hop has not had, I would say, this type of this type of stage before. Because remember, the last one that we had was Dr. Dre.
Yes.
And that was huge in
That
its
was
own right.
fantastic.
You know what I'm saying? So hip hop
Especially when
is
they had the surprise of bringing in like 50 Cent and stuff like that on that one.
yes,
Like,
yes. Like
huge.
hip hop is getting these bigger platforms now, and I'm not gonna sit here and just drown Drake in negativity. People like Drake who broke out of the hip hop shell and made a place for himself in a higher pinnacle may have been one of the only ones that was really hitting on those levels. And then, you may see like a Taylor Swift on that side or a Beyonce on that side reach those numbers.
I don't know if Drake really. Again, I'm not trying to just sit here and talk bad about Drake, but his entire career so far, he has had kind of the stigma of like you're not really hip hop.
Right.
Like you came from something else. You didn't grow up in that world. You are not hip hop. You're just making hip hop music, and those aren't the same thing.
Right.
Where like the feel from Drake versus Kendrick is legitimately like he is hip hop. He grew up in that world. He's engulfed in that culture. Like Kendrick is hip hop.
Right.
Where Drake just knew how to make hip hop music, and the feel is totally different.
Oh yeah, I can see that. Oh yeah, because I even told people at the party, I was like, yes, Drake has enough of a catalog to where he could do a performance at the Super Bowl, but it's Drake, and
Yes.
once we kind of explained to them like the differences, they kind of got it. Because I was like, if Drake was going to do something like this, they would have been asking him to do it.
Yeah.
And
He's had the catalog for a long time. He could have done it.
yeah. And I remember I always sat there and I said, a lot of it is because of who he is as a person and things that he has done in his life. We're not here to break that down. If you want to know, look it up yourself. But
Google is free.
Google is free. But for Kendrick to sit there and be like, you know what? I said my piece. I made my music. I rebutted with this guy. Now I'm going to humiliate you on the biggest stage of them all. Game over. Perfect. Game over. Done. And
yeah,
love him or hate him, respect him or not, Kendrick owned his moment.
Yes.
5 stars all around. And before I switched to the last topic, just gonna keep throwing T-Pain out there because he's my favorite artist. T-Pain now needs to be able to do Super Bowl. Period.
Oh, did you see his reaction to that?
Yes, sir. As I brought it up.
He was talking about it, and he was like, man, all this time I've been like, I don't know if I can do a Super Bowl. It's too complex. It's too flashy. I don't know. And then Kendrick got up there. He was like, not trying to talk any crap. He was like, but it was simple enough that I was like, well, shoot, maybe I can do a Super Bowl.
Maybe I can do this. Right. I'm telling you, Kendrick put on the cheapest Super Bowl performance in history.
But it didn't feel cheap.
Right.
Like it was simple, but it worked.
There you go. It's like, I'm not saying as like cheap as a performance, but just like the set pieces. It wasn't too flashy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was, everything he needed was right there. He didn't have like a giant robot come out of nowhere like some other people did. He didn't have to get like suspended from the ceiling and drop down and explosions and stuff. It wasn't Michael Bay money.
Yeah. There are some people that put on insanely elaborate Super Bowl performances.
Crazy performances.
This wasn't that. They didn't have the sets that rolled away or stuff suspended or like coming up from underground. None of that stuff. Like, this was just, they had the stage. They used the whole stage. That was the show.
And other artists, take notes. Like, for real, take notes. Because you're looking at an artist, a true artist, in his element. Give him give him a challenge and watch him work. That's Kendrick.
Honestly.
Now, to wrap up this topic, who would you like to see have a performance? Or better yet, who do you think will be the next person to perform at Super Bowl?
I don't know if I'm the right person to guess who's going to be next, because I'm going to be real with you. Until they announced the last two, I would have never guessed that. I would have never guessed Dr. Dre. I would have never guessed Kendrick. Because I'm going to be real with you. I did not think the NFL was brave enough to have shows like that.
Tell me about it.
Like, I did not think they were brave enough to put that out.
Tell me about it.
I'm glad they were.
Yes.
But, so as far as predicting that, I don't know. I don't know that I'm the right person to guess that. Who I would like to see at the Super Bowl?
Okay, yes.
T-Pain would be a big one.
Of course.
I want to say Lil Wayne because of his older performances, but I've seen videos of his live performances and, like, it's not the same.
Mm-hmm.
So I used to would have said Lil Wayne. Nowadays, probably not.
Okay.
We already got Eminem with the Dr. Dre show.
Now you can say
we
Eminem.
already got 50.
You can say
we
Eminem.
already got 50.
You can say it.
I mean, I could, but we already got him.
Eminem
we got him. We got 50. We got.
Nah, that was a feature.
I mean,
a full Eminem show versus a feature. I wouldn't be mad with it.
If he had the right people with him, I'd be fine with a full Eminem show. Because I ain't gonna lie, if it was just all of his solo stuff,
mm-hmm.
I don't know if that would be a big enough draw, if that makes sense.
Or acceptable for that kind of for that stage. I can see that. But I do believe Eminem does have a big enough catalog to do it.
Easily. One of the biggest catalogs in the genre. Like, I don't know who has the biggest, but he definitely has one of the biggest because he's been rapping since 1995. Like, he's been doing this for a minute.
He got some albums on him. Now,
like,
I will say, of course, T-Pain. I want to see T-Pain on this stage, but if I had to be realistic, I think they're going to switch up genres. I think we're going to get Jelly Roll.
I'd be happy with Jelly Roll.
I think they're going to give it to him. He's had a pretty good year. He's just coming off tour, I think, as well. This is the business mind of Chaos going off right now. I think he would be a good transition to give us a break from hip hop.
Yeah, because he's still, like, at least partially in that world,
right?
But also separate enough that he can do a little bit of the country, a little bit of the hip hop. That would give him the freedom to bring in, kind of different artists across the board. Like,
I think
I would be okay with that.
All right. So see, we are on a roll today, y'all. Hopefully, everybody out there is having a good day too. Thank you for watching. We're not done though. We're not done. I ain't gonna lie though. I did not think that the Kendrick talk was gonna take that long. So man. I am going to. I think we need to save one of these topics for later. Maybe for a new idea that we have working in the tank. Well,
wink, wink.
Wink, wink.
Nudge, nudge.
I'm going to bring up our last topic of the day that we're going to talk about. We're going to go back into gaming. Of course, one thing that we have seen a lot in the culture of gaming in the last, I would say, 5 years has been remakes. Some good.
Yeah.
Some bad. Some we didn't ask for. Some that we desperately needed.
Yes.
But remakes are here to stay. If you think they're not, you're bugging.
Remakes are here in a big way. They're not going away anytime soon.
Nowhere. And it brings the question up, and I'm going to have you go off first on this one, Data. What should a remake always do?
I'm going to start my answer with what a remake should never do, and that is be the exact same game. As much as I like the Halo remasters that we got with Halo Anniversary and Halo 2 Anniversary, that is the exact example of how not to do like a remake.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to just play the same game. I want something new to actually be there. So like if you're making a remake, it needs to be new in some way. My ideal for a remake is stuff like Capcom's been doing with the Resident Evil remakes, where
Yes.
they look back through the development uh, of the original game and they're like, okay, what did the concept art look like? What were content that were cut because the development couldn't do it all the way, but now that we already have the first game, like the whole story's already fleshed out, what do we have to do to add the cut content in and just update the story to match everything new? That is the way to do, in my opinion, remakes.
Mm-hmm.
It needs to be faithful to the original, where it's recognizable, you know what's going on. Like at every moment you can remember if you've played the original versus the remake. Okay, I'm here now. This is what I'm doing. I'm not confused at where I am or where I'm going, but it's also new. It's not exactly the same. Different puzzles, different layout, like additional content, etc. It needs to be recognizable, but definitely a different experience.
Okay. I agree. Totally agree. One thing that used to really bug me with gaming around this time was that we got remakes to things that I felt were still fairly new.
Yes.
And it was really more of a remaster, I would say, at that point. Or
Yeah.
they would take the older game, like how we said with the Halo remastered remakes that they did. And they just do like, oh, we just put a fresh coat of paint on it. So
Yeah.
it's like I feel like a remake needs to take advantage of the current platform's capabilities. If you truly can't do anything innovative with that, then maybe don't do it. They're especially because a lot of times these remakes they want full price for them.
Yes.
And it hurts because like I don't want to have to pay full price again for a game that I already beat. Unless like I truly just love the game. And I will support it. That's why like the Resident Evil remakes. I played fully Resident Evil 2 remake. I have not played the other two yet. But when I tell you the Resident Evil 2 remake compared to the original, night and day. Pacing,
Yes.
the pacing, the experience. And that was something that I challenge every gaming company to do with remakes. You give me a new experience with something that's already been established. The story was still there. It's still Resident Evil.
Yeah.
But you can see where they took their freedoms of going, well, Resident Evil 4 gave us a lot of this stuff. So let's integrate that into 2. They gave us a lot of the pacing from a lot of the newer games. Visually, of course, the game looked amazing.
Yeah.
And they
The
were
biggest thing I liked from the Resident Evil 2 remake is that while yes, it still looked like it was familiar to the original game,
Mhm.
but it did play differently and there were things just genuinely better about it. Because like when you first walk into the Great Hall in the original game, the two floors of the Great Hall are completely separated.
Mhm.
Um, in the remake, something simple that just connects the world a lot better, makes it way easier late game, cuts your backtracking down a ton. They just added a staircase.
right,
Like
like
something
boom.
simple like that, that's just like, hey, instead of having to backtrack your way through a whole area just to get from the first floor to the second floor, we'll just put a staircase in the middle. Just make your life a little easier.
Right.
Like it's the little things.
It's always the little things. It's always, but it's always a good thing though as well. Um, remakes, the remake time, because I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was gonna be kind of like a fad that we were just gonna get a couple of games here and there, or like a gimmick push. You know, oh, we have maybe a new X game coming out. Well, let's make a remake of a game that's similar to it to get the audience familiar with the game again, and then we'll continue. But you're starting to see now that these companies are actually taking their time and actually making remakes their own thing. Look at Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and
Yeah,
the remake. When I tell you, like, outside of the extra like fluff they added to the game, I like how they've been able to split up a 4 disc experience. And even though they're doing 4 games, like, well, I think it's going to be 4 games. I'm pretty sure it is. But the first 2 games that we've gotten, the way that they dissected the story and then added their own touch to it, amazing, amazing. And that's the type of quality I want to see, especially from Final Fantasy and like Square Enix and them. I want to see that, because there's a couple of games I have on my list that I would like to see remastered or remade. Pretty much a lot of RPGs. I ain't gonna lie to you. You know,
yeah,
you're
yeah.
showing me that you can make this type of quality. I want to see it done on a more grand stage when it comes to these remakes.
Yeah.
If there was one game, if someone gave you the ability to remake one game right now, what would it be?
Mm,
Always putting
that's a
Data on
hard
the spot.
decision.
Always putting them on the spot, y'all.
I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Mostly just because I want people to experience the weird, wacky world of it. Probably Morrowind.
Ooh, okay.
Like, that
Okay.
has been my favorite Elder Scrolls title for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Just because when they went into it, the writing team was given the directive that, yeah, it needs to look like a regular world somewhat, but for the most part, it should look like you are on an alien planet,
Mm-hmm.
where it should look familiar enough. You know, you have your land, your plants, your water, stuff like that. But the culture should not be recognizable. The flora and fauna should not be recognizable. Like, just everything should feel alien. And that made the best atmosphere, in my opinion, of any Elder Scrolls title that we've had so far. And then, because like when they went into Oblivion, no hate to Oblivion, no hate to Skyrim, but one of the guys that was on the writing team was asked about it years later, and his response to it, he was like, originally, we were building Oblivion to match the description you had in the first pocket guide to the Empire, which was going to be, you know, where the center of Cyrodiil was, you know, 7 islands that had the main city on it, surrounded by, you know, the lake, and you had rice paddies as far as the eye could see outlining the exterior. And then you had like jungles past that, dragons soaring above, like Roman legionnaire style soldiers. And he was like, you know, we had this vision to build it exactly like the pocket guide to the Empire said. And then Todd Howard watched Lord of the Rings, and mistakes were made. And
Mistakes were made.
and not that I hate Oblivion. Be clear on that. I do not hate Oblivion. But the alien description we got of it being a dense jungle with rice paddies as far as you could see, dragons soaring above, like Roman legionnaire troops, like patrolling the roads and everything to keep it safe for caravans and stuff like that. That just sounds so much cooler to me than what we got.
Mm-hmm.
I would rather have that, and I would like people to experience the atmosphere that Morrowind had,
Mm-hmm.
outside of something like The Elder Scrolls Online, which, don't get me wrong, I don't hate the Elder Scrolls Online. It's not the same.
It's not. It's not. I agree. It's not. Now, I'm just laughing because Oblivion's my favorite Elder Scrolls. So, but like I said, it has its flaws. It has its flaws though.
Gameplay wise, I would agree that it is one of the most like fun and fluid ones.
Mhm.
I hate its atmosphere. It
That's fair.
feels too like generic fantasy.
Yeah, I can
Like
agree.
everything the Elder Scrolls was, because my first one was Morrowind, and then I went backward to Daggerfall, and then forward to Oblivion.
Okay.
Still haven't beaten Arena. I'm working up to that someday. Um, we'll get there.
Man.
Um, but like the atmosphere of the older Elder Scrolls titles, where everything was just strange, unapologetically strange.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't get that in Oblivion. Like, Oblivion would look at place in the Lord of the Rings or any other just kind of generic fantasy title.
Right.
It doesn't feel unique. It doesn't feel out of place. It feels standard. And it shouldn't have, because the world that it was built in is far from standard. Like when you play the game, you know that it's different because you experience the lore, you experience the stories, etc.
Mm-hmm.
But the look and the atmosphere doesn't match that.
And it's true though. It is true. And I another game that I would love to see a true remake for this year or hopefully ever, Knights of the Old Republic. 1 and 2.
That's fair.
1 and 2.
That's
Because
fair.
I personally I feel like those games do not get enough credit now. Of course the people that were able to play them understand. They understand like what made these games so special. But then you have like this group of just people who are just like, it's just a Star Wars game, and it's like, no.
Yeah.
This was the start of something epic, and I do believe that. I believe it came out in the wrong time, but we needed it though. Like the culture needed KOTOR to come out then, but if it would have came out like in this generation, or even like I would say honestly, if it would have came out in like the PS3, PS4, Xbox 360, Xbox One release, like in that era, oh man, with just those type of graphics and that's kind of stuff, I think we would have had a game that would have lasted the test of time.
Yep. Especially because Obsidian did their thing with KOTOR 2.
Yes.
They weren't involved with the first one, but they did their thing with the second one.
By far.
Like,
and
if there's someone that understands like the newer RPGs that are coming out, it is Obsidian.
Oh yeah. And we'll be having some more things about Obsidian in later episodes, because Avowed.
Yes.
We both playing that, so we gonna give you our opinions later.
Got to finish that story first, though.
Right. By the time this podcast comes out, the game just dropped what, like this week?
2 days ago?
Yeah, like 2 days
Something
ago.
like that.
So we still in heavy. But yes, y'all. So Obsidian, we love you. All right. So Avowed, we're both ready. So we promise we're gonna go into this game with good intentions. I'm pretty sure the game is gonna be fire. But if we have any issues, we're gonna let you know.
So far, I'm impressed. I ain't gonna lie to you. So far, I'm enjoying it.
I haven't even touched it yet. It's on my computer though. It's downloaded. I just haven't touched it yet. So, I think this episode is a wrap, man. We about to wrap it up. This has been really good. Whew. Do you feel like these episodes are just going by so quick now?
They are, but it's not a bad thing. Like, it's quality.
I agree. And what do y'all think out there? Let us know in the comments, because you can comment on Spotify too, y'all. You can leave comments on Spotify. So if you ever want us to talk about something or if we miss something, don't be afraid to let us know in the comments, guys. We are on pretty much, I will say all platforms, but we're not. We're on Spotify. We're on YouTube, TikTok. I'm working on Blue Sky. I'm still kind of on the fence with it. I don't know if I want to develop the time to actually get it on there, but we'll see. Instagram, we're on there. Again, shout out to the Global Gaming League for accepting us into the fold. The more information we get on that, we'll let you know as well. The bigger they get, hopefully the bigger we can get with them. Because I would love to see that gaming league become something groundbreaking. And the fact that we could possibly be a part of it too is amazing. I think that wraps it up for this episode. Please, everybody, be safe. Be kind out there. Be blessed. Until next time, I am Zero to Chaos.
And I am Melting Data.
This has been Culture Clash. And remember, guys, we are the community, we are the culture. And we're going to change it one step at a time. Catch y'all later. Deuces.